Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'm glad that Scottish Government are finally taking charge on the future of education in Scotland. Our education sector has been wrecked with 16 years of SNP's failure. Failure to support teachers, failure to support pupils with additional support needs, and failure to update an outdated and narrowing curriculum. I've got a lot to go, and as some of my colleagues have already pointed out, in the last 16 years, teachers' numbers have fallen. The number of teachers in Scotland has fallen by 907 since 2007. The Scottish Government have not yet delivered on their promise to hire 3,500 teachers and pupils support assistants. This puts a strain on both teachers and pupils and negative impacts class sizes. Teachers were also promised 90 minutes of non-contact time per week. The Scottish Government have made little progress in meeting this. Teachers in our education system need to be valued and given time to think about and plan their teaching and learning outcomes. Teachers are not the only ones in our schools struggling. Pupil support assistants provided essential support for children's education and social development. But there is currently a crisis in retention and recruitment of PSS. This is primarily due to PSS being underpaid and undertrained to deal with the demands of the job. PSS often work with children with additional support needs without adequate training or support. This only further exacerbates the lack of support available to children with additional support needs. A lack of PSS in classroom can create unsafe working conditions and can decrease attainment for children. Yet the Scottish Government have yet to outline exactly how they plan to support this vital role in school that is heavily relied on both by teachers and pupils. Last week in Parliament, there was a debate on violence in school. Violence from children towards other pupils or staff is often left to pupil support assistants to handle. I've heard stories from constituents about the daily violence they experience in the workplaces as PSS. They are often the ones who deal with the brunt of violent behaviours and relieve classes of violent disruptions. Yet they receive little support or training on how to effectively deal with the violence in their workplace, which once again causes many to leave the profession. The Scottish Government must move forward, showing teachers and support staff that they are listened and valued within our education system. Only then can we actually begin to improve the situation. Presiding Officer, there also needs to be some development in the curriculum being taught in our schools. The narrowing of the curriculum for excellences does not effectively prepare young people for the future. Our education system should prepare children and young people to deal with the major social, economic, cultural, personal and political challenges that are present in the 21st century. The current curriculum for excellence is ill-equipped to teach young people about this important aspect of life. The Scottish Government's recently announced Scottish Connection framework addresses the need to deal with the more difficult parts of Scotland's history, including colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade. This commitment to address the atrocities of the past also needs to be done at home and in our schools. Presiding Officer, through learning about the past and Scotland's role in it, young people can be more open and understanding to the racial, cultural and gender inequalities that still exist in Scotland today. That way, we can send young people away from the education system more tolerant and with a better understanding of the social challenges that may face them outside of school. Presiding officer, progress on the government's reform of education is welcome. However, it cannot be another broken promise. If anything is to be fixed, the SNP must recognize what the last 16 years have done to our education system. Thank you.